What's up, guys? We're here with another deck profile, so why don't you tell us who you are and what you did?
Hey guys, I'm Nate Davis. I went 4-0 with branded Tearalament.
What were your matchups today?
So my matchups were round 1 I played PK. Round 2 I played Danger Tearalament. That was a fun match. Round 3 I am struggling to remember.
It was Mathmech, I think.
Oh, it was Mathmex, that's right. And then round 4 was Live Twin Sprite.
Awesome. How do you think the deck performed today?
Insane. This deck is so much fun. It feels good when you don't whiff your mills. I've been testing this for the last week and a half, and I almost never whiff mills.
All right, let's see the unwhiffable deck
The
profile.
unwhiffable. All right, so first off is 3 Havness. Havness is insane. It's a hand trap, and it's a decent way to potentially summon Window on your opponent's turn, which is kind of not nice, but it's not bad. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do against them Sprite players, right? Next, 3 of Merly. It's a pretty good mill. It's normal summon effect. It's normal or special summon effect to mill 3 is pretty good if you combine that with Kakalos. 3 Sheeran. Sending a monster out of your hand, not as cost, and then milling 3, also insane. Everything that goes with the archetype does that, or does stuff when it's sent to graveyard by card effect, so it's amazing for the archetype. And the last of the Tearalament monsters in the main deck, I'm playing 2 Rhinoheart. Now, a lot of people like to play 3. I've been testing cutting it down to 2 because of deck space. There's so many ways to search it or summon it. Fusion Deployment, the field spell, Kakalos. You don't need it at 3, and honestly, I didn't even notice that I only had it at 2 all night. It did not matter. Because milling it when you don't have a tier in hand is also bad, usually. That's it for the Tearalament monsters. Next are the rest of the monsters. So I'll do the branded core. So my branded core is 2 Aluber, 2 Tragedy, and 2 Albaz, freshly pulled tea tonight. So the reason I'm only playing 2 Aluber is because you search it. So if you mill Tragedy, you just search it. But if you mill a Branded Fusion or Branded Red and you already have Branded Fusion in hand, you can instead just banish it from grave to set Branded Fusion or Branded in Red, and then you don't have to waste your normal summon. And then the non-archetype cards, 1 Fairytale Snow, needs no explanation. If you don't know what it does, it's banish 7 for cost, summon itself, book a moon, a monster. Beast is the only Shadal I'm playing. I was playing Squamata and Beast, but I cut down the engine because I kept seeing Squamata and no way to put it in grave to trigger its effect. And then 2 King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp is insane because you can use it for any named fusion as long as you're not using it with Branded Fusion from the deck. So, and you can also discard it Search Poly. So there's a lot of monsters I'll get to when I get in the extra deck that this can help facilitate. And it's also an Aqua, so you can use it for the Tearalament fusions. That's it for the monsters. I'm playing 2 Traps. I'm playing 1 Silic and 1 Meta Noise. I'm only playing 1 of each because you don't really want to mill these too often. And I mean, seeing them is fine, but you can search them off Kakalos. So this one is basically an imperm. Then you send 1 of your monsters from field to grave. As long as you control a Tearalament, you can activate these. So you can send a Kakalos or something else that triggers in the grave, get an effect negation, and then hell, if you have a beast in grave, you can, whenever you want, summon Winda. And then this one is a Book of Moon, you send a Tearalament from deck to grave. So again, whenever you want, you can trigger a fusion. That's it for the traps. For the spells, I'm playing a good amount of them. We're playing the field spells, so 3 Primeval Planet Parallel Rhino and 1 Terraforming. So obviously Terraforming searches it. This card, searches any Tearalament monster, and then if a Tearalament is shuffled into your deck, it can target a card to pop it. Sometimes during my turn, I actually will target my Tearlaments that are stuck on the board to pop them, and then use them to fuse further extend. And then also Tearlaments and fusions you control gain 500 attack. So all around, it's a great card. Definitely maximize on that. Next is 3 Fusion Deployment. Typically, you reveal Tearalament's Kaleido Heart to summon her from deck, but sometimes I actually reveal Albaz to summon Albaz, and then force effect negation, or if I have Super Poly in hand, I Super Poly into one of the Albaz fusion monsters. It locks you into fusion just like Branded Fusion, but all around it's a great card, and I will never cut it. Next is all of the different cards that say fusion. So, one instant fusion. Instant fusion is crazy because the fusion monster that you mainly summon, Kikalos, is a level 5. Then you can trigger its effect. You can also summon Millenniumizer Strict, which I'm playing one of. Poly and Fusion Substitute. So the reason I'm playing Fusion Substitute, Collider Heart can't be used as fusion material ever. So if it's stuck in the grave and you manage to get this engraved, you can banish it, shuffle it back, draw a card, and then now you can make Collider Heart again if you need to. And then Poly can trigger your Tearalament monsters as well as, it's polymerization. You can search it off of King of Swamp. The branded spells, so 3 branded fusion and 1 branded in red. So I've thought about cutting down on branded fusion, but honestly, seeing it, if you normal summon Luber and they stop it, seeing it is crazy because then you just go, oh damn, that's crazy. Branded Fusion, and then you keep playing. You can send your Tearlaments with it, and then you can trigger their effects as well as make Mirror Jade or whatever you're trying to make. And then Branded in red is great because you can make, just like in normal Branded Despia, you can make Chimera on your opponent's turn if you want. And finally, the last of the fusion type cards I'm playing, Super Polymerization. This card destroys the mirror match and destroys everything else as long as you're playing the right Super Poly targets. I'm not playing Garura currently, and I regret it because I had to side this card out for anything that wasn't playing fusions. But I mean, Super Poly is insane for outing boards. The last 2 cards in the deck are 2 Triple Tactics Talent. Card's insane. Mirror match. I've stolen Kaleido Hearts multiple times to win the match. It's hilarious. I love triple tack, and I probably won't cut that down. I'm not playing it at 3 because I cut something. I cut it to, I forget what it was I put back in. I put Branded in red back in because I took it out, and that was a mistake. Branded in red is not bad. That's it for the main deck. We'll go to the extra deck. 1 Millenniumizer Strict. Card's insane, again, especially in the mirror match. Anything that activates... Anytime your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one in the grave or on the field and equip it to it. It gains its attack, and anything that's equipped to its name effect is negated. So it's just nuts. 1 Winda. You're playing Beast to summon Winda. That's basically it. If you summon Winda on your opponent's turn, there's a good chance they don't play the game. 2 Kikalos. I was playing 3, but then I realized you don't want to play 3. It's a searcher. When it goes to, you can summon one from grave or hand, and then trigger its effect. And then when this goes to graveyard by card effect, mill 5. So I mean, it's pretty crazy. It says mill 5. Next is a trio of branded fusion monsters: Albion Libellion, Mirror Jade. Pretty self-explanatory if you know anything about branded. But a non-targeting banish. Pretty much always summons Mirror Jade. Usually send this off Mirror Jade to then set branded fusion, or branded in red. Excuse me. Dragostophilia, insane to summon off Super Poly, but when your Kikalos is in the grave, I typically send Kikalos back and then use the Tearalament that I am shuffling it back with to make Dragostophilia. I played it too because I've noticed that running out of it is bad. If you have a second one, your opponent doesn't typically expect it, and then now they have to deal with it. And you can keep shuffling it back for the other one, and as long as you have 1 in the extra deck, 1 in the grave, you will never run out of Dragos. It's an infinite. 1 Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart's crazy. It's the best fusion monster probably in the entire extra deck, if I'm being honest. If they out it, it sends 1, you shuffle, and you summon itself, and then you can trigger your Tearlament's fusions. And when it's summoned, or if one is sent to your graveyard, a Tearlament sent to your graveyard with a card effect, it shuffles a card back. Non-targeting. Guardian Chimera, pop 2, destroy 1, shuffle, draw 1, or pop 1, draw 2. And if you have Poly Engrave, it's immune.
This does target, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, it does target. Excuse me. Starving Predator Power, Fusion Dragon. Honestly, this one's more for lulz than anything, because if you put a counter with Dragostophilia's effect, you can, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you contribute their monster to negate their effect. This is probably copium, if I'm being honest. I'm probably going to cut it. I have yet to actually get use out of this card. That's it for the fusion monsters. One of Time Thief Redoer. Redoer is insane because if you Xyz summon, Sheeran and Aluber into it, you can actually trigger your Tearalament's effects when they go to grave because they're not detached for cost. This card's insane. And then the two links, Dark and Unicorn. I'm playing Dark because if your opponent summons Ibly to your board, you can use Ibly and a Tearalament to make Dark, and then now you're not locked into link only. And then Unicorn, because it's link 3, you can summon with the monster you summon from your opponent's graveyard here. And it shuffles, not destroys. That's it for the extra deck. Next is the side deck. So I'm playing 3 evenly. Yes, it's sacky, but it's kind of important to have cards like this in this format, especially with Sprite, having double toad, negation on your turn, all that. At least it baits out a negate, if anything. Next is 3 anti-spell. Again, floodgates are annoying, but you gotta play them because everyone else is going to. Shits on the mirror match, shits on Sprite, shits on anything that relies on spells. 3 Deck Devastation Virus. The most annoying matchup is Sprite, and this happens to kill Sprite pretty effectively. You can also use it against the mirror match, but I wouldn't recommend it because then you'll trigger their effects. That's it. 1 Branded Banishment. I'm testing this. I don't know if I want to keep it in or not, but I mean, it's a super poly your opponent can respond to. The only hand trap I'm currently playing besides Havness, 2 DD Crow. Insane against the mirror match. When they send that toad in Sprite to negate something before they can summon it back, you can DD Crow it to stop it from coming back. And
Chain Elf.
that's what I mean. Like when you activate Elf, that's what I meant to say. Finally, 3 Cyclone. I've gotten sacked by this card too many times, and there is still a PK player here, so you can out a 1 of Spell Trap or Scythe, because people still play Scythe every now and then apparently.
All right, Nate, you got anything else?
I mean, shout out to Roberto for, giving me some ideas when I first started it. Shout out to Evan because I sat next to him and he was playing the deck, and then I built it based off of things he was saying and just kind of got lucky that everything works the way it does. Shout out to Jordan. We had a pretty uninteresting match, I'd say. Round 3 was not good. And thank him for having me on the channel, of course, even after I kind of sacked him. But, to be fair, he sacks me more often. So. That's all I got.
All right, thanks for the deck profile.
Thank you.